Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Freeman Files here on the J Free 906 podcast channel. Full house of folks here tonight. We have our, always guest here, or guest, not a guest, our always man riding shotgun, Mike Owen. And and over from the soul of the Unexplained, we have Jimm Kjelgaard, John Neiberger, and Jonny Stratton is out there too. You can't see him at the moment, but he's there. Oh, there he is. There,
right on cue.
Right on cue. There he is. Welcome, guys. Thanks for joining tonight.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks for.
Oh, what? Uh-oh.
Johnny's
frozen.
He was skinwalkered.
Skinwalkered already.
He's
We're
doing
not
so
even
well.
10 seconds into the podcast.
And it starts.
And
all right.
Yes.
I turned my internet off, so it's cellular now. We'll see what happens.
Oh, okay. Well, we can hear you anyway. You're still kind of, at least this frozen picture of you on the screen isn't terrible, you know.
He just has a general look of astonishment, which is perfect.
Yes, general look of astonishment on your face.
Appropriate.
Yes. Yeah, it's all right. Hey, folks, thank you for joining us here tonight. As you know, we will be covering the Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. Tonight is Season 7, Episode number 5, Home Sweet Homestead. And I kind of wanted to go around the room here and ask you guys what you think about this season so far. But before we get there, I wanted to say that, as I always do, that if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel and click on that notification bell so you know when we have new content coming out, because we've got some really cool stuff happening coming up here in the days to come. I'll tell you what one of them is. Caleb Bench is going to join us on the 8th for a review of that episode, July 8th. And that'll be the episode that's on the 9th, or on the 7th, I should say, or something. Yeah, on the 7th. He's going to join us on the 8th. Tomorrow night, we also are going to be, Friday night. I messed up with that. Friday night, we're going to be talking a little bit about another show. Some people like it, some people don't. We're going to kind of combine some episodes together. It is the Mystery at Blind Frog Ranch. We're going to be talking about that tomorrow on Friday night. That'll be Seth Bridges and I will be going through that. We're going to kind of go over the first 4 episodes. And we also have, we're working on a date right now, but Mr. James Keenan will be joining us live for a little Q&A about that and other stuff that man is working on. A great guy. And also want to see you guys out at Phenomicon this year. I don't know, who all's going or not going to Phenomicon this year?
Absolutely.
Jim will be there. John will be there.
I'm out this year.
Maybe. Unfortunately, I got some other stuff going on.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's good too.
A friend of mine decided to plan their wedding for the Sunday.
What a friend. I mean, is that really a friend that would do that? I don't know.
Well, I will cease to exist if I told them I wasn't going to show up.
That's a tough one there. Yeah, I guess.
I know.
All right. Well, I tell you what, folks, and any of you that will be at Phenomicon this year, I look forward to seeing you. If you see me, I will not have a table this year. I'll just be milling around, looking really goofy and talking to people. Oh, and there's Pete. Pete, how are you doing tonight? Good. You are here with us. Good. Because I'll be talking about you a little bit tonight, Pete. So I hope, at least you're miles away. So. All right, here goes the round table real quick. We'll start off with John, seeing how you're up on the top there. John Neiberger, what do you think of the season thus far for Skinwalker Ranch?
I think so far they're just teasing us. Yeah, and this is kind of how it goes. They start off with, they ease you into it. Mm-hmm. And the good stuff usually comes after a few episodes, and we're already starting to see glimpses of what's coming. They're going to get down to the depth that they're trying to get into the hole. They've got experiments with, still like the one we'll talk about here in this episode. Yes. With stuff in the sky. Just, what the heck is this stuff? I think there's a lot of interesting things coming.
Yeah,
and I can't wait.
Yeah. Wow. John Stratton, what do you think?
Well, part of my confession is I am 2 episodes into the season.
Oh.
But
you got catch up to do.
Yes, you do.
I do. However, I did learn 2 things that I didn't know, which is very rare for me. I finally learned what those metal frames they built were for, because I had no clue. And I learned that they're using EEG, which is awesome.
Ah, yes.
Yep.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, that's and EEG was prominent in tonight or in last night, I should say. So, but yeah, okay, good stuff. Mr. Kjelgaard, and I got to tell you, folks, Jimm Kjelgaard. And I mentioned it earlier on Soul of the Unexplained, an awesome podcast with these three gentlemen, John, and Jimm. It is a fantastic podcast. They've been talking about a lot of disclosure lately. And we also know that this gentleman was also, you just did a couple of presentations with Ben Woodruff. Was he there with you at this thing?
Yes, sir. We had Ben Woodruff and Chris Roberts, of course, the archaeologist that's a team member over at Skinwalker Ranch. They both joined me for the Q&A after my first presentation that was given. Gosh, what was it? Was it? No, it wasn't last weekend. It was the weekend before. But yeah, it's what's been keeping me busy. All the there's no shortage of news on the topic of UAP disclosure. I mean, literally multiple times a day, it seems there's something new coming out, and what a great time to be alive, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah, something we've been waiting for a long time. It's finally starting to happen. The momentum is beginning, and this is a good thing. I hope we get even more as we go along.
So the question that I do have, though, is actually for my podcasting partner, Mr. Neiberger, because John finally got to try some of my cooking. So, John, I need to know, did it live up to the hype, or was it a bit of a letdown?
No, it's fantastic. Yeah,
Okay.
It definitely lived up to the
know.
hype. I'm glad to have finally experienced the famous Jimm barbecue.
Right on.
Now, I have yet to do that, so there you go.
You got to make it. It's good.
Yeah, you bringing some? You're going to bring some to the Insider Gathering at Phenomenon?
Well, you never know. Stranger things have happened.
Okay. Hey, Maya wants to know where she can see this presentation that you did.
So the presentation that I did at the Hutchings Museum Institute can actually be viewed on the museum's YouTube channel. Just type in Hutchings Museum Institute, and you should see a great graphic there of both me and Ben Woodruff on there, pointing an extra long index finger, which you can see I clearly don't have in real life. But so you can see the picture of me and Ben pointing up to a UAP on the thumbnail there for the video. But just right there on the Hutchings Museum Institute's YouTube channel, and it's a little over 2 hours, maybe just a tad over 2 hours, but everything is laid out pretty well. I did have some errors that I made, unfortunately, because I'm like that. I'm not too bright most of the time, but most of the stuff that I presented was accurate and provided all the documentation to back stuff up. But there were a few inconsistencies that I was unaware of that unfortunately made it into the presentation, and most people should be able to pick up what those are. So I do apologize in advance for my ineptitude.
Wow.
You were not inept. I was there to witness it. He did a fantastic job.
I wanted to be there. I would love to have seen that.
He did a good job.
All right,
especially in the Q&A.
Yep. All right, yeah.
Thank you.
So, what did you think of this episode, the season so far?
Well, I think pretty much exactly what John Neiberger said just a moment ago. I think that it's building up to potentially some really exciting new developments. I like the pacing that it's had so far. It does seem like there's a bit of that teasing going on, but and I have no idea what actually is coming in the episodes that are yet to air, but I have a feeling that there's going to be some really, really impressive things where we're going to learn a lot of new things. And probably usually as that happens, whenever we learn something new, it just brings up more questions. So I think it's just exactly what I've wanted to get out of the series thus far, and it's still proving that it's the best one out there as far as data-driven, scientific, method-driven investigations to get to the bottom of one of the greatest mysteries mankind has ever faced. Is still how I feel.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I know Mike and I have been talking about each and every episode so far, and it's been great. I've really, really enjoyed it. And it's kind of one of those times where last night I watched it, and I always watch it the first time. And by the way, Pete Kelsey, I sent you a link to Facebook Messenger. if you need it a different way, let me know and I'll send it. Otherwise, you can jump in here with us. And B Jones, I see B Jones out there. Hello, B Jones. Haven't seen you in a while. Glad to see you here tonight. But I also wanted to mention that Smurf Heather, she's been helping out a lot with the podcast lately. I can't thank her enough for the work that she's done to help us out. And I wanted to show this too real quick. And I had this link for whatever reason it's dropped on me. So I got to redo this. Bear with me just a moment while I do this. Look at the thumbnail that she made for us. For tonight's podcast that she distributed out. Now, at the time she made this, well, she had to fix it because we only had Mike and I, and then Jimm came along. We were, Jimm's going to come. And I said, Jimm, invite the other guys. And so she didn't have time to add everybody. So I apologize that for John Neiberger and John Stratton. But yeah. So anyway, that's awesome. Heather, thank you so much.
You will skills.
You will attract more people without my face. Trust me.
Well, I tell you what, everybody that helps out, I can't thank you all enough. So I appreciate it.
Heather is awesome. We love Heather.
Yes, indeed.
And Debbie and Michelle.
Yeah.
And Pete. We love Pete. We love Pete.
Kelsey.
Who's here?
Hey,
now we have a true
Kelsey.
rock star.
Pete Shyboy Kelsey is here.
Yes. I'm glad you popped in with us, Pete. I really am, because I am going to mention you a little bit tonight, and it's better that you're here. I can say it to your face, so to speak, but yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
No, it's all good stuff. All good.
As long as we're still friends when we're done.
Yeah, yeah, we definitely, yes. No, I just thought I'll comment about your hat. Anyway, we'll get there.
Well, I'll officiate this, so round 1 is going to start.
Oh, all right.
I'll keep time.
Also, real quick, I know I'm taking a lot of time here before we get started. I'm sorry, folks. We're 12 minutes in already, and I'm still blabbering about everything but Skinwalker Ranch. But I got this neat little cup here. It's a coffee cup, maybe meant for tea, but it's really cool. And I wanted to show this. Linda sent this to me, and it's got, I don't know how well you're going to be able to. Let me see if I can put myself in solo layout real quick so you can see this thing. I just had to talk about this. Oh no, I guess I can't. It's not letting me. All right. Well, here we go. How about that? All right. So it's got a lot of stuff on here. You see pterodactyls, you see some kind of a monster there, cryptids all over there. You got Bigfoot, you got zombie poodles, giant zombie poodles, you got pirates, you got everything that I'm interested in. Bigfoot is in there as well. There he is right there hiding on the side. This is made, let me get back over here. This is made by the Calamity Ware, just like it sounds. And this design is by Doug Mayer, and they're made in Poland. But Linda sent this to me as a birthday present. It's really awesome. So thank you, Linda. Appreciate that very much. Sasquatch, giant frogs, pirates.
But there's no tacos. Where's the tacos?
No tacos. A meta cup. Yes, there it is.
Yeah.
A meta cup. Yes, I like that. But thank you very much, Linda. I appreciate that. All right. Shall we finally get started with the show tonight? I think we shall. All right. So we're going to be talking about the Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. And it's episode number 5, Home Sweet Homestead. I really enjoyed this particular episode. And like I was starting to say, when I first saw it, I always watch it the first night just for enjoyment. And then I started digging into it more after the fact. And when I first saw it, I thought, wow, that's really didn't have a whole lot of stuff in it. Then I really got digging into it. And that's sometimes what happens. And I was like, oh, crap, this thing had a lot of stuff in it. Really did. But as we go here and get started, it started off with at the command center there with the governor showing up, Spencer Cox. Governor of Utah showing up, and basically he was out there to kind of get a briefing on everything Skinwalker Ranch. He talked about things that are important to the community, of course, to the state of Utah. He likes to be in the know on and all of that. So especially if it's happening, I mean, this is, kind of a big thing happening. I don't know how many people in Utah. I mean, do you guys find you guys that live there, I guess there's only one of you, right? Do you find that a lot of people talk about this the ranch, or is it kind of sparse, Jimm?
I've found that there's still a lot of people that live in the state that don't know about it. The ones that do know about it, they are really interested in it. But it's still a case where, at least here along the Salt Lake Valley where I live, if I ever go out wearing, like, I'm like right now, I'm wearing my 10th anniversary, official insider
Very
t-shirt. But anytime I go out in public wearing a Skinwalker Ranch shirt or something like that, I'll usually get at least 4 or 5 people that'll say, "Hey, nice shirt. I love that show." Or, so there are a fair amount of people that are aware of it, but not as many as I wish that I wish were aware of it, is how I would say.
Yeah, because you'd think that something that affects the area, I mean, they may not notice it in their normal daily life, but I mean,
Right.
the closer you are to the ranch, I think the more you're gonna start seeing things in the night sky. And I
Yeah.
don't know how far, and I know that Pete, you've documented so many crazy things going on there yourself, but and we've talked about that the fences around Skinwalker Ranch, the 512 acres, do not confine all the weirdness inside of that. But I've got to think that it's happening in a little bit broader area than that. The high strangeness, things that are weird going on there. Have you noticed that at all, or had any idea about that?
Some firsthand experience, yeah.
Yeah.
Working on other shows that, this is a Skinwalker show, so I won't drop names, but yeah, it's
Well, beyond Skinwalker Ranch.
beyond. Yeah, it's not necessarily unique to the ranch, but boy, is it prevalent at the ranch. It's the only place that I keep coming back to. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Yep. Well, it's definitely got a lot going on, for sure. Back to the governor, he was out there and they took him around on a tour. And of course, we only saw a little bit of it, but there was this one picture, and I almost used it for tonight's thumbnail. I did make it. I did make one with it, and then I opted it out and for the one that I chose. But this picture of Homestead 2 has got to be one of my favorite shots. It's just an awesome picture, I think, of Homestead 2. And that was one of the places that he took. He was toured around there. You see him going inside a Homestead 2 and looking around a little bit. And that particular shot right there, that is going to come up a little bit later. We're going to be talking about that when we get to that portion with the folks that were coming out to do some work out there for the experiment that was that evening. And I want you to remember this. I do have another picture of this room right here, because we'll talk about this as we go along. So there they are finishing up with their tour and everything. And you can just see some of Erik's handiwork. Well, I don't know if Erik actually puts in the cameras or is it all Thomas, but you can see some of the work that Thomas is putting in cameras. I noticed that the little teddy bear hanging on the wall. I wasn't quite sure what that's all about, but it's still interesting. All right. So now let's get into the meat of all this, shall we? This is up on top of the mesa, and up where they're doing the drilling, and also where that they have that borehole number 1 that's made it all the way through the top. Then they lined it, and then they put that PVC, that heavy PVC pipe through there so they can get instrumentation down this thing. They're gathering up there with the drill rig. It's just off to the side where they're getting ready to do some work. And you see the folks that are showing up there. Jan Frankie out again, as well as Pete. Coming out to get ready for some experiments that night. There's Jan right there. And the guys, Jed and Bo from the drilling company, AAA, I think it was AAA Drilling, out there to get started. And at this point, they're about 11 feet in to their drill program, going down to, they want to hit that 33-foot level. And again, that's where the drill coming up in drill borehole number 2, the one that's on the west side coming up there, that never made it all the way to the top. They're trying to get down there to that point now to see what they hit and what stopped them. What was that hard structure that was down below there? So that's getting ready to happen right there. These shots are really cool because I was really trying to figure out just how close to the edge of the mesa the drill rig is. And you can kind of, or was, I think that's the area right there where is that not down below? That's the drill site, like right over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the depression.
The depression.
The mesa, on the face of the mesa there. So, yeah.
So that gives you an idea how close they are drilling there.
Yep. There were some good aerial shots in this one to try and get a perspective of course, distances are always hard to judge with the camera. It always looks smaller or closer than it really is.
Yes, absolutely.
It occurs to me that those familiar with Google Earth could probably figure out where that drill is.
Mm-hmm.
Hint, hint, hint.
I should have looked that up. I never even thought to do that.
Some people may have used Google Earth Pro and gotten that exact same perspective to make sure they knew where that.
Mike, I can't take you anywhere.
Well, I tell you what, that's where I was kind of wondering, because every time something like this happens, I always want to know exactly where it's happening at. So I really, trying to figure, and I never even thought to look there. So there you go. There's another look at it, kind of, it's over here off to the left side. This is a different angle, because you can see the one pipe that they've been using, which is right here, it angles off here to kind of off to the left, the lower left, going that way. And there's Pete. Yep, getting ready for. I think at one point we actually have a picture of you standing there with your tripod and the terrestrial laser scanner, which has become one of your handy tools beside the SLAM scanner. I think I saw there is a picture of you with it at some point here. And so it looks like you're pretty much using that like all the time now, which I think is a great thing personally. I love some of the interesting things you get back in your data with that after the fact. Always seems to happen.
All I see is a face for radio.
Well, speaking of SLAM scanner, there's the man that usually carries it right there, Caleb Bench. And don't forget, I said Caleb will be joining us on the 8th of July for the episode review for that one. So that's really cool. But you guys, he had Jan came out to the ranch, and we've seen this Snake GPR unit that he's come out there with a unit before, and this was when he had Caleb dragging it back and forth across the mesa, kind of east to west, back and forth, east to west. And this is where they found the original anomaly that is underneath the mesa by doing that. This time, I think they were basically working on just going down the face of the mesa.
It did sound like they went all over the place with that, though.
Did it? I wasn't sure. Is that what your perspective was?
It wasn't quite as apparent in the show, but in the after show, they said they went all over the place.
Yeah.
At the bottom, I think Travis made a comment of let's go back and forth across the parking lot or something.
Yeah.
But all they showed was them just basically going down the face of the mesa. So it kind of seemed like that was all they did, but it sounds like maybe they did a lot more, which would be fantastic.
Yeah. What's the take with you guys? Anybody jump in on this one, but what's your take with this anomaly that's in the mesa that's been picked up by this? Obviously, we've seen other stuff come out of the mesa, like the ceramics and the metal pieces and very hard things the drill couldn't even get through, the wiped out drill heads. But anyone can jump in. What's your take on this anomaly? I mean, are you excited to see what they finally find? Jimm?
I just want to say that I think that little speculative theory that you that video that you put out about a week or so ago, Jeff, I think to me that is still the most plausible theory that I've heard, and until proven otherwise, that sounds like a good theory to me, because I can't imagine anything else of what it might be. So I guess just like everybody, I'm just chomping at the bit to see what kind of news comes out regarding that. But I think that your theory that you have about something that may have crashed into the mesa a long time ago, still seems to make the most sense to me.
I'll tell you what it is.
Oh, all right.
You want to know? I have the answer. Here's my answer. In the future, Travis Taylor invents warp drive, and he's testing it out, and he ends up accidentally going back in time, crashing his homemade UFO into the mesa, and now current Travis is investigating future Travis in the past. How's that?
Wow.
You know?
Oh man, is that going to be a paradox if he finds it and he's in it? His bones
right. This is what I'm saying.
I hate to admit that out of all of the theories that people have posed to me, that is the one that I feel like could be the most likely.
All of this it's all circular, right? It just all comes back around.
It's more square.
Yeah, well, true. But I mean, honestly, I mean, I half jokingly, actually more than half jokingly say that, but I'm completely stumped about what could be in there. So I'm dying for them to get, I'm dying for us to see what they have found when they get down to it.
Yeah.
Because it's absolutely dumbfounding. The ceramic like materials that with odd properties and breaking drill bits off in stuff that shouldn't be there. It makes no sense. So, I mean, it sure looks like we're about to get there and get some idea what we're talking about. So I can't wait to see it.
John, the warp drive, you said Travis building a warp drive. You and I both ridden in that red Jeep with Travis, and it's like driving. It's like being in warp drive when you're driving with Travis and that thing. So
he likes to go fast. He hits the creek pretty hard when
he does.
Yeah. Yeah,
he carries enough rocket motors that he'll go airborne.
You wear your seatbelt when you're riding with Travis on the ranch.
Yeah, you seatbelts and the doo-doo handle.
Yeah,
the old crap handle. Yes, yeah. Pete, you're laughing over there. You've experienced this as well, I guess.
Oh, I carry scars.
I tell you, there's a documentary that was already made that features Travis's spaceship. It's called Spaceballs.
Ludicrous speed. That's what happened. He was testing out the first iteration of ludicrous speed.
Yes, there we go.
And then
problem solved.
But in seriousness, I would be very intrigued to see a radiological study out of the borehole, especially with any future digging and boring. That would be really fascinating to see a radiological study.
I did when I did the little video that Jimm is talking about. And by the way, Jimm did the music track for this whole thing, wrote it and played it and edited it. I mean, it was awesome. It's the best part of the video, in my opinion. But check it out. It's on my YouTube channel. You can check it out. It's just a little video. It says possible answer as to the secret of Skinwalker Ranch. And it's about a craft hitting the ground. And it's only about 4 minutes. It's an easy listen. Yeah, we've gone plaid. And it could also be, that one was a spacecraft. It could also be a meteorite of some sort. Now, I don't think the meteorite's going to have the triggering that whatever this is under the mesa seems to have, or whatever is affecting. And we're going to get to this again because we've heard this before with the 1.6 gigahertz, the 1.2 gigahertz. And then it kind of comes up again in last night's episode. So we'll see that as we go along here. But so something is triggering this stuff. I think that's been pretty well proven now throughout the testing that they've done. Here's another shot of it. You see Caleb standing right on the edge, getting ready to go down the front of the mesa there with that Snake GPR unit and get some data. Can't wait to see the data. Absolutely cannot wait to see it. I'm, and the data from where they sent his sled, I'm sorry, not the sled, but his GPR, the Black Snake that they put down through the pipe last week's show or the week before, actually.
Yep.
We haven't seen that data. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So man, I'm like, I mean, I could reach out to Jan and go, Jan, what did you find? But he's not going to, he was with us last week with Pete. Yeah, you saw they couldn't talk about it, obviously, but man, waiting patiently to see what is all about this analysis. Here you see them checking out something on there. They're actually picking up radio signals as soon as they get started with experiments. Isn't that funny how that always seems to happen? But they are looking at the 45, I think it was 45 megahertz, frequency that is coming from the GPR unit. And they are watching it to make sure that they can see it there. It is coming through very well and all of that. And they're picking it up down below as well. Funny thing is, though, that when they're done, and you see Travis and Caleb sitting down there in the tent at the bottom of the mesa now, they've turned off the unit, and lo and behold, the 45 megahertz signal pops up. And that's exactly what I was just talking about, that we see the 1.6 was something they had not transmitted, but it all of a sudden seems to come up quite frequently. The 1.2, and correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, but the 1.2 gigahertz signal was one that Erik, I saw Erik was in the chat too. Maybe he can help correct me if I'm wrong, but that wasn't that a signal or a frequency they decided to send out?
I believe so. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. It wasn't one that they started getting out of nowhere, but as soon as they transmitted it, then they started getting it back as an answer.
Yep.
So now
meteors don't normally do that.
Yeah.
Meteors they do not normally mimic the frequencies that you're sending to them.
The problems with drilling and maybe even some of the ceramic type stuff, materials, maybe, but the whole signal thing, the changing signals or amplifying signals or sending signals, the mimicry.
There's some kind of intelligence behind it all. What kind of intelligence? I don't speculate, but there's, I don't see how it can be natural.
Yeah, that's one of the strangest things out of all of this to me.
Thank you, Craig.
I mean, among 1,000 other strange things, right, that make no sense. But what in the hell is responding? It's almost like a call and response. It's like, oh, they sent 1.2. I'm going to send 1.2. They're sending 45 megahertz. Well, I'll send 45 megahertz. What the hell is that?
Yeah.
Like, what would be doing that? How is it doing it, and why?
Yeah.
Which has been sort of a foundational tenet of establishing communication with unknown cultures, people. Yep. Call and response.
Yep. Yeah. I know a lot of people have asked that question. Are they sending you an answer? Are they trying to communicate? It sure seems like something's going on, but and I know that they're listening. I know they're recording it. I know we've heard them. We've heard Travis play it, turn the speaker on sometimes, and you hear this. Yes, mimicry is the beginning of communication. Thank you, Erik. You're absolutely correct. So is that what's happening here? Possibly. I know that Erik and Travis, everybody's, recording this and listening to it. And I keep going back to the movie Contact. I mean, you got that carrier signal, but what is embedded in the carrier signal? Is there anything? I want to hope so. If anybody doesn't know what that movie Contact is all about, you should go watch it, because that was where they sent the plans to build the machine. So, but it was embedded in the carrier signal. So, but yeah, here we are once again getting at, and it was also last week that they had the, 54 megahertz from the beacon of the drill. They were getting that signal back, even though nobody was transmitting it. And that was a year ago.
Well, yeah, they were getting was it 33 megahertz?
Yeah, whatever that was.
From the drill beacon. Yeah, and what was fascinating about that one is that not only was it 33 megahertz, at equal intervals above and below, they were getting some other signal that it was fascinating to me. I don't understand what that was about, but I mean, just from a physics standpoint, that was fascinating.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this really, 33. Yep. This really tells me that, again, what's this? So that's what, 4 or 5 different frequencies that they're sending messages. And you saw what Erik, or you heard what Erik, I mean, I'm sorry, or what Travis had said here about this particular one. He said it's coming from the mesa. I just, I can't, we got to figure out a way to see what they're saying. I mean, or is it just simply a signal back going, yeah, we're here, without any, anything behind it yet? I don't know.
Yet.
Yeah. But it just, I mean, it's just too many times now. Repeatable, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, as soon as they got that back, we get this right here. Yeah.
My favorite part of the show.
I bust out laughing when I saw
I
that.
almost fell off my couch laughing when I saw that.
Oh, I was like, that picture's going to be in tomorrow night's show, and there it is.
Yep. That could be the thumbnail.
That should have been the thumbnail. I almost did. I almost made it the thumbnail. I really did.
Yeah.
But does
Great.
that
I'm a meme.
volume? What do you think, Pete? Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, mommy.
Pete's going to invoke the Fifth Amendment privilege on this one.
I guarantee you someone is going to ask you to sign that picture.
I'm bringing it to Phenomicon, and I'm going to have him sign it for me there. So
I know what he's saying right there. I know what he's thinking.
go ahead.
It involves the cuss words. I can't say it.
Oh, yep. Oh,
It
look
starts
there.
with this something place.
Yeah.
And the word is not fire truck.
Right.
You know that old joke.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I tell you, this is indicative of everything that goes on out there, and we see your expression on it. Usually, a lot of times we get Erik's befuddled look.
Yes.
And this time we get you going, yeah, it's still happening. There we go again. One more time.
Oh, and that was, in terms of sort of behind the scenes, that was completely organic. That was wait, we're getting a response at the same frequency level that Jan's gear was just putting out.
Yeah.
I mean, what else am I going to do?
Yeah.
That can air on television.
Yeah, they can be made for family TV. Thank you, Tatiana. Appreciate that very much. The call is coming from inside the house. Yep.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
When they got to the HS2 thing too. We've
Yes.
traced the call and it's coming from inside the house.
Yes.
It's an old horror movie to people
Literally.
that don't know.
We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty.
Oh, yep. And there is the Faro terrestrial laser scanner. And, they didn't show us what the data was on it, but they might yet. I know that last week we were waiting for some of Pete's interesting information that he put out, and they showed it at the beginning of the episode last week instead of the end of the one before. But that was good. So we were able to still get the data. Hopefully, if there was anything interesting found in this particular scan that he had done, we'll hopefully get to see it soon. And I won't put you on the spot to ask you about it now, because we know you can't talk about it. So, so there we are with that. And now comes the portion of the episode that really kind of, I had to go back. I mean, all of it was great, but I had to go back and look at this again a couple of times, because what took place here in this portion of another exercise that they were doing, experiment they were doing, was really a lot deeper than it seemed on the surface, at least to me anyway. And they brought out Maddie Farr, an EEG expert. And I had to write that down, because I never really knew what EEG stood for.
Encephalogram.
Encephalogram. Yes, thank you. Device.
It's a tongue twister.
It is indeed. and I promised I wasn't going to make fun. But I don't know that if Pete didn't call her ahead of time and tell her that, what would be more appropriate to wear in the field. She looks very nice, by the way, but she's going to be in the field working. So, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I'll leave that alone and not make fun of her. And then we have John Dover, Jonathan Redbird Dover. Now, a great guy. He's been on the podcast. We did an episode with him and Stan before. We had a lot. Yeah, Jimm was there. We had a lot of good time with them guys. And the Paranormal Rangers. Yeah. So these guys, and I mentioned that before, that some of the information that they shared with us in that podcast was fascinating and terrifying at the same time.
Yes.
I don't know, Jimm. I know, and anybody else that's had any opportunity to kind of listen to some of the stories that these men have had. As I said, fascinating and terrifying. Is that what you would say, Jimm?
I would 100% agree. The perspective that both Stan and John had for the different encounters and experiences that they've had, why anybody would not want to listen to their insights and the wisdom that they have. They're just an absolute wealth of knowledge, the things that they know. And to this day, of all the podcasts that I've done over the last 5 years, that one that we're talking about now, where we had them on your podcast, Jeff, remains probably one of my top 3 favorite that I've ever been a part of. I mean, it was so informative, that stuff that they told us.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And I will say too that John and I have become friends over since he was on the podcast. I actually talked to him today on the phone for a little while, and he shared a few things with me. Nothing about that we haven't seen or anything like that, because of course he can't do that. But so much of they're still working very, very hard. They're super busy, and they're doing presentations. John's heading out. I think him and Stan are actually going to a presentation tomorrow in the morning. They're heading out to go to another one, and I forgot where he said it was, but. Man, folks, I'm going to tell you, if you haven't seen the episode that we have, go back and look for it in my list of videos and lives that we've done. It's under the live heading, live stream, and check out or just search for Jonathan Dover and you'll find it. But it was really, really good. And I respect those two men so very much for what they do, and the things that they encounter just would freak me out, I'm afraid to say. But anyway,
well said. Completely agree.
With all that said, they brought this gentleman here out with them, Art Hardy, and and it says there correctly underneath his name, Medicine Man, and I'm glad that they at least put it there correctly. You heard throughout the show a few times that people calling him a shaman, and that is a little bit incorrect. That he is not a shaman; he is a Navajo medicine man, and John talked to me about that this morning, quite literally. So, but again, this is another one of these gentlemen that first of all, when it comes to indigenous people's beliefs and traditions and ceremonies, I am one who fully believes what they're doing and why they're doing it. I don't completely understand them, obviously, but man, do I respect them. And I feel you guys probably all feel the same way, right? I mean,
there's just a connection they have to the land and to nature that I think most of humanity, through the years, through use of technology, whatever, we've perhaps lost that connection with nature. And because they're still a part of that, they allow their traditions to continue. I think that, again, that's part of why they're such a great resource. And another person that I know that shares that opinion is Chris Bartell. Chris Bartell is also somebody who's very keenly aware and respectful of the native traditions as well. And I don't think we should ever discount the native traditions and the native perspective when it comes to stuff like this. But that's just me.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, and it's the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, well, of course, art, the Utes and the Navajo have been there for millennia. We're the problematic neighbors,
Yep.
So, with thousands of years of historical narrative, to not listen would be a complete disservice.
Yep, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And he was a really cool guy, by the way. He was just a cool dude.
Yeah. Have you, Pete? Have you had the opportunity to hear some of John Dover's testimony? Some of his stories?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I was trying to.
Oh right.
I was trying to stay silent because you guys. I couldn't add anything. John's a friend. He's so credible. I mean, this is a retired law enforcement guy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And just another cool dude, just a nice guy with some of the most amazing stories you have ever heard. So yeah, Jim's right. You guys are right. If you ever are in the same space with John Dover, just say, I'm supposed to ask you for a story.
Yes.
And shut up.
Yeah.
That's kind of what our phone conversation was about this morning. I went like this morning. Yes. Yeah, he shared some other things with me too, but yeah, wow. I couldn't agree more. Him and Stan both. And then this gentleman here, and I have invited John and Art onto the podcast.
Nice.
John said yes, and he said, let me reach out to Art and see if Art Hardy would like to join as well. And I said, please, I would be honored to have them both back on because, again, yeah, it's fascinating and terrifying all at the same time. The things these men could probably tell us. All right,
Yes.
so
Mm-hmm.
moving along here, they also they had, and of course, I got a nice picture of his butt. Sorry about that, David Mason. I was trying to click through that. David Mason with his fantastic equipment, camera equipment, and thermals that he brings out. So there.
Now known as Avid Mason.
Yes, Avid Mason. Yeah, I clicked it so quickly. Yeah, I cut off the D there, but yeah, Avid Mason. Yeah. Sorry, David. Yeah, another great guy to sit and listen to his technology. I'm absolutely astounded by as well. So here's a shot. This one is when they were doing the base test of the device, the EEG that they put onto Art's head to capture his brain waves. And they did a baseline test first to get just outside of the Homestead and just to get a good baseline. And it was interesting to see. There he is there, all suited up. And that right there is what they got. Nice and even, very normal EEG that you would expect to see. So everything was working well. And you know what? I'm glad, we talk about some of those stuff and people ask, well, why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do that? Here we just don't see it all. Chances are they did do this or that. And this is one of those cases where they did get a baseline before they ever started, which is what you do, right? That's the scientific method. You do that first. This was just a cool shot. I just grabbed it because it just looks so cool. This huge tent they got going on out there. Now it grew from before they didn't even have tents to now they've got these elaborate tents out there that they can bring around. And I believe, is that the terrestrial laser scanner right there, Pete, running in the background? All right. So here's everybody gathered up, getting ready to start the night's experiments. Now, the first thing that he did, and I was allowed to mention this tonight because I wasn't sure in this particular ceremony exactly what he was doing, and I did get this from it, that he reads the coals. You have different methods of people doing different things to get the insights. I'm going to call it insights for a lack of a better word right now, but the insights that they have. And he uses the coals in the fire for that. And I want to learn more about this. I really do. And that's why one of the things I'd like to find out when we have Art on the podcast is about how he studies this and reads this. Awesome stuff there. And then this is him in the process of preparing for that to get his mind right and then start to do that. So it's interesting to And again, this is one of those times where I want to respect what they're doing. And as I mentioned, learn more about it. But the things that he comes up with when he does this kind of thing right off the bat, when it starts, 1.6 gigahertz pops up. It's almost like we expect that now, right? I mean, it's going to happen. It's going to pop up. Let's have it, show up and see what goes. There it is again, popping up everywhere. Now I looked over here at the 1.2 they have down below, and there is a signal popping up on 1.2. They didn't talk about it, but there is one showing up here just over 1.21 in that range, about 2.225, somewhere in there. But again, that's going as well. And again, they were talking about where it was coming from. And you see Sam there with the directional antenna, and he says, gee, where do you guys think the signal was coming from in this particular time? Homestead 2, right?
2.
Imagine that.
Now, imagine that. Now, this is one of those things that we talked about this a little bit earlier when they get the signal coming right out of the mesa. Usually they're over at the triangle and they're saying, yeah, it's coming right out of the mesa. It's coming straight from the mesa. And here it is coming, and earlier it was coming from the mesa when they were down at the drill site. And here it is coming from Homestead 2. Now, if there's something in the mesa, something that crashed in the mesa that is creating these signals to come back, how does it change its direction? I just can't wrap my brain around that. You would think that it would always be coming from the mesa.
Well, wasn't in the episode that when they had the rocket hanging in the air on the parachute and Travis finds the signal coming from right above them? Wasn't that nearby Homestead 2?
Yes.
Yeah.
Am I remembering correctly? Okay.
Yes. Yep. That was just outside the bubble boundary, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think so.
On the west side there.
West side.
Towards Homestead.
That's what
2.
I thought.
Yep. And you're right. Yes, he was getting a signal and got out there in the field. And he's like, it's coming from straight above. And he shot the rocket up there. And then we seen it hanging in midair for several seconds.
Yep.
That's always the best part. Travis finds something anomalous. Let's shoot a rocket. I'm like, all right.
Exactly. That's what you got to do.
Why not, Travis?
Yeah.
Well, as we know, he carries them in the back of the car. So,
he's always prepared.
Yes, that he is. For sure. And so there you see the nighttime where they're getting ready for everything to start happening there. And so, of course, the signal was coming from inside Homestead 2. So Travis ran over there to see what he could get on his little handheld spectrum analyzer. And sure enough, he narrows it down to in a particular spot inside Homestead 2. And of course, there's nothing there. So
this was particularly good because I know that I've seen people complain about how those signals pop up all the time, but they never hunt them down. Well, just because you didn't see it on the show doesn't mean they didn't hunt it down.
Yeah.
And in this case, they did show it. They do try to track down where it's coming from, and the Kraken shows direction. So there are ways that they are trying to figure out where it's coming from, but in typical ranch fashion, it's not consistent.
Right.
I mean, it may show up all the time, but it doesn't always come from the same place. So that transient nature is that's the hardest thing to try and diagnose when you're trying to fix something or figure out what's going wrong. But that was good to see. A little surprised to see it emanating from inside Homestead 2, but not overly surprised.
Yeah. As Kat said,
Well,
literally from inside the house. Go ahead, please.
Sorry.
No.
I think I made a comment before I logged on here that they should have called this episode Kitchen Sink because we threw everything at it. And I know you all are paying attention and, everybody watching the show is paying attention. Dave Mason differential GPS, all the frequency analyzers. Jeff, you caught TLS. If you're paying attention to the infrared video when we're in Homestead 2, you'll see the laser spinning. That means slam. I mean, everything. And this is the kind of, I'll use the word respect that we threw at art to say, look, let's have everything running in case something happens.
Right. And something did happen. And yeah, yeah. Well, we'll get to that as we go along here. All right. So they had the signal come up from inside the Homestead 2. And again, how it moves itself around like that, I have honestly no idea. And I think they're still working on that too. And this picture here, we see Pete with his awesome new hat on. I love seeing that hat.
I love that hat, Pete. That's great.
Jimm,
is it a Stetson?
No. That's above my pay grade. But Jimm, do you take as much shit for your hat that I now do for mine?
Yes, I do.
I love that hat. I really do. I love it.
Brothers in arms.
Yes. Yes. I have one myself. It's yes.
So there we go. Great visual. What's that on that weird dude with the odd hat's back?
Yes. Good old slam scale. I was going to say, normally we see Caleb Bench huffing that around.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, he was busy with Maddie.
Yes, he was. Yeah. So you're huffing it around. And again, we haven't seen any of this data yet. Don't know if it showed something. And just because, it was used doesn't mean it had some great data to see, of course. But I was going to mention this earlier, when you had the TLS out and you were, I believe in last week's episode, we were talking about this, you were outside of the bubble boundary and you picked up those trees over Homestead 2. There was several of the tree branches that were above and back from where they were supposed to be, and picked up by the TLS. And it was like you were outside the bubble boundary doing that one, I believe.
All I'm going to say, Jeff, is I love that you caught that. Because come on, it's the same location.
Yeah.
Yep. Same location.
Identical location.
It makes me wonder, especially with you mentioning that, Jeff, about how the tree data from the LiDAR was directly above Homestead 2 there. Now I have no idea how to base this theory, but it makes me wonder if maybe there's some kind of dimensional shift going on in real time that causes that to happen. Because I know there's obviously with LiDAR you're dealing with time to an extent, just like you are with the GPS. But
right.
That just kind of crazy thought crossed my mind.
There's
a lot
no
of crazy thoughts.
There's no crazy here, Jimm. This is Skinwalker Ranch.
That's right. That's right.
Literally, there's no crazy. It's.
So that's why I feel at home with Skinwalker Ranch. Now it makes sense.
Exactly.
As most of us do. Yes. Yeah.
Exactly. We're all missing the same chromosome.
That's right.
Thank God.
Yes. Oh my gosh. This shot here, now this is where it really started to get weird. And and it was the thermal cameras picking up this heat. Now, obviously we didn't see, I don't think that we saw the before it started to really heat up like this. So to us watching this, and this is one of those things that I say that we were not there at the time this was all taking place. So we have to rely on what you guys are saying about the picture that we're seeing to understand it better. And in this particular scene here, you all were excited and, looking at this crazy, how this is heating up the branches above Homestead 2, the tree branches and the stalk itself and the limb, everything was heating up above Homestead 2 when in fact it should have been getting cooler.
Right.
I don't know. Is there anything you can add to that, Pete? I mean, you were one of the people looking at this going, what the heck?
Yeah, I think the line was, that doesn't make any sense.
Yes, it was. That makes no sense. Yeah.
And that was organic. That was real. Again, this isn't scripted. You know, a while ago I had a certification in thermography. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
This is the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And thermography will show you temperature anomalies, things that are colder than everything else or things that are warmer than everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And why the treetops, which to your comment a second ago, Jeff, which were displaced in my LiDAR not long before, and now they're glowing warm, warmer than everything else around them. You got me.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but to have that kind of an increase in temperature, you'd need some kind of geological event to raise the temperature like that, and especially at under cover of night where there's no sunlight coming through to seemingly impact that. It just, I mean, it's the definition of anomalous, right?
Yeah. You know, if it had been in sundown, you know, the roof of Homestead 2 would still be warm and would be glowing warm, and we go, that makes perfect sense. But when it's 2 o'clock in the morning and everything is cooled down, it just, well, it is what it is. It's nuts, absolutely nuts.
Yeah, they didn't really. I just looking at that from Coach there saying that they. I think they gave a temperature for the coal spot. I did not pick that up. I think it would be really cool to see what those temperatures are that it's showing, and we didn't. I think they're right up above in the screen. And oops, let me put that picture back up. There we go. I think it's right up above in that on that screen that we're looking at here on the FLIR. But yeah, this is really, and somebody mentioned it when they had the rabbi out there a few seasons ago, and he was doing his ceremony there. We had the cold spot that appeared in Homestead. Only live wood was glowing, not the dead wood from the house. Yes, there you go. Yeah, exactly. So they had the cold spot that showed up there, and they were all exclaiming about that. Oh, and it was even felt. I remember, I don't know if you were there back when that happened or not, Pete, but that was when that cold spot showed up there in front of Homestead 2, right about looking straight at this front door, if I remember correctly.
I remember it from the show. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and wasn't there also back in like season, in fact, I think it was one of the first times that Pete came on the show, and they did the slam scanner inside Homestead 2, and there was no data returns, if I'm not mistaken. Or am I misremembering that?
No, you remember it correctly. There was one room where we got no data.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Hey, is that the room where the signal was coming from in this past episode?
Oh,
I don't remember. That'd be pretty wild if it was the same room.
Good question.
Yeah, I know Erik was in the chat earlier. Erik, if you're still out there and you know the answer.
Or a great question for tomorrow night when the guys are on.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That other podcast. You know.
Yeah, the one that does a review of the show too, over on the Insider program. Yeah. But yeah, so last time in the rabbi did his, and then we got the cold spot. This time we're getting the heat. Everything getting very, very hot, which was interesting. There's another screen here, and I'll bring that up. And this one here, you can see it down there in the lower left. You see that one? That's the one we just showed, and the other ones are all just basically looking normal. I think this one here, I don't know if it's over a little bit further, but you can see the heat on the side of this particular one, but. Again, this is one of those times where we have to really rely on the team on the ground, and they're explaining to us why this is so significant. It looks crazy to me, but because I'm not used to looking at thermals of a building and the empty building and trees, I wouldn't really be able to pick out. Oh, it looks great to me, and it looks kind of odd that all those branches would be lit up like they had fire inside of them, but there it is.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also, don't forget that Dave Mason, this is a custom. This is not off the shelf thermography. I mean, he's a genius, and he knows. He's the only guy in the world who could explain what makes, what we're seeing here different than, over the counter thermal camera data.
Right. Yeah. He explained that very well when we had him on the podcast. He was very good about that. And it just amazes me that the things that he's done with these units. That he can pick out the little fine differences in temperature, even some of the work that he does. But okay, and this part here, and I was wondering, this was kind of eerie, but I guess it signaled the end of his ceremony there. But he actually blew on a, and I hope I'm okay to mention this, but this was an eagle bone pipe, a little whistle that he was using there, and that is part of the ceremony that he does. And this was again pretty. It made a very eerie sound, but I guess that just signaled the end of it for him when he was done. And that's when Travis went over to speak with him a little bit about it. Now they're getting ready to, at this point, they're done with that part of it. Did get some pretty fascinating results. And here you see they're putting the EEG back on his head, and they're going to send him into Homestead 2. And these are the readings. Now, you saw the readings before that we showed that were pretty baseline. They were very, very, most of the lines were pretty flat. There wasn't a whole lot going on. Now, here it is after he has performed. Now, it's late at night, too. So, or early morning, I should say. So, now that might have something to do with it. But you see, there's a little bit more activity now that's happening in his EEG than before. And he goes and he walks in. There's the difference between the baseline and the current scam. But now he goes into, this was kind of the interesting part about this, is that when he walks into Homestead 2, he's 10, 15 feet away. He's actually not even in. And that was, remember that picture that I had showed you earlier. And I've got one here I'm going to bring up real quick. Okay. This is and this is kind of the way it was explained to me. This particular, let me bring it up here. This particular here, you're in this little open area. It's like a little open area with a dirt floor before you actually enter the second building or the back building. He had just gone inside here. There's not even glass in the windows or anything like that. And that's when the signal dropped.
Right.
And they lost it completely.
It's like as soon as he crossed that threshold in the doorway, it just gone.
And you saw the look on Maddie's face, and she was like, and I know this is one of those times where Pete was probably going, yeah. And so
welcome to Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah.
It's that face everyone always makes the first time they're skinwalking.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We've seen Pete do it. We've seen Jan do it.
Yeah.
Everybody,
Sky Elements, all those guys. Yeah.
Everybody, it happened, and you could see it clearly on her face. Like,
was
what
it something
in the
like
world?
this face?
Yes, kind of like that.
But you know what's cool about this though, Jeff, and I apologize if I'm jumping the gun here, but as soon as I saw that happen, my wife was watching the episode with me, and I looked at my wife and said, you know what they ought to do is they ought to send Maddie in immediately after him to see if maybe there's any interruption, like, send her in as well. And it was so cool to see them do that exact thing.
Right. Yep.
So that was kind of a neat moment.
Yeah, my wife and I did the same exact thing. We said the same thing. And there's Erik. I used 3 EEG device types on the ranch since 2017. They are extremely sensitive. The signals they measure are tiny, buried in the noise. By design, these devices are susceptible to EMI, electromagnetic interference, I believe that is.
Yep. That
So,
and a defunct record label, EMI, no longer exists.
Yeah.
Duran, we're on that label. That's how I know.
So yeah, he steps into the Homestead 2, and then boom, everything drops. He loses it. He comes back out. It reconnects, reestablishes connection. And as we said, Caleb was calling it 10 or 15 feet. 10 is 10, 15 feet away. Not really anything besides a little bit of wood in between them. He did go in at one when they reconnected. He did go back in, and they lost it again as soon as he crossed that threshold. And then he stuck his head out the window, that window you saw on the side there, and it reconnected. Spotty, but it reconnected.
Yep.
Again, it should not have lost connection with the EEG device. I mean, it's Bluetooth. I believe it was working on Bluetooth. And if any of you have Bluetooth earbuds or anything like that, you're listening to your phone, you can be a long way away from that phone and it still works very well. I've done that many times, but yeah, that's just crazy. And so as you had said there, Jimm, that she ends up leaving the table here and going in there. But now the other thing, listen to this though, and you probably heard this on the show. The other thing that was happening with this unit was not only was it disconnecting, but she had said it's showing the indication of full battery, dead battery, full battery, dead battery as she's going along the reading, and she had charged it, fully charged it. So
welcome to SWR.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, and there's that picture again, where he stepped in, but he stuck his head out the window and it was working. It just does not make any good sense.
And there's nothing in the construction of a house that old that should be doing that. Correct. I mean, that's probably plaster and lath. It's old enough. It is. Yeah. So there's nothing there's not like there's, steel plates. It's not a Faraday cage, obviously. It's just old wood and some plaster and nothing that would cause that much, that much interference to stop a signal that should have no problem going through, especially with that many openings. I mean, it's
exactly.
Just more evidence they don't build them like they used to.
Yes,
exactly.
Still standing.
Right.
Yep. So yeah, something within the Homestead too, and we do know that there is electricity in there because they have some They got cameras in there that are all wired. As far as I'm on the understanding, I believe all the cameras within Homestead 2 are wired. I don't think any of them are using the Wi-Fi or anything like that. So what would be interfering with it? It's just nuts. And again, it's something indicative of Skinwalker Ranch, I believe. Then she showed this particular scan right here, and she talked about this being relatively normal, even though to me it doesn't look normal. You got these one particular, I think it's this P8 right here, P8 on the side right there, that's giving this wild looking reading. But again, she made it seem, and again, we know that the editing with the things that she was talking about are going to may not line up exactly all the time after the fact when they're doing the editing work on putting this together at Prometheus. So, I thought this looked pretty crazy. But again, I don't have a clue how to read these things. So I have no idea. No Wi-Fi within Homestead 2. Thank you, Erik. That's what I thought was the case. Thank you for verifying that.
The other thing that I thought was interesting about it, and again, apologies if I'm jumping ahead here. But,
no, please.
The fact that she said that some of those readings indicated that that Art would have been in some kind of distress, like having a complete meltdown, but yet on the surface, he's as cool as a cucumber. I mean, he's just, clearly not in an agitated state visibly that we can see, but yet the readings that he was getting back, I mean, you're getting all these major peaks and troughs and indicators that there's, some kind of anxiety or stress or activity, brainwave activity that just didn't seem to match the physical characteristics that they were able to see at the time. And I thought that was really interesting too. Because
I'm no doctor, Jimm, but to your point, they are very consistent with EEGs of seizure activity.
Right.
It's very random spikes and lows.
Right. Yep. Yeah, the only time I recall seeing anything like this in a similar circumstance was, I think it was on one of the episodes of Beyond with Chris Bledsoe when they were testing his, and he had some activities and areas that they said didn't seem to be usual. So, but this seemed a lot more impressive than the data that I saw regarding that one episode with Chris Bledsoe on Beyond Skinwalker Ranch. So it definitely. I found it to be very interesting.
Yeah. Am I good to address something in the chat as far as responding to that?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Yeah. So John said they could be seizures, like micro seizures that wouldn't be obvious. The reason that wouldn't be the case is the characteristic of a seizure is a electronic scramble of the brain, so to speak. So the synapses go off and you lose function of the brain. So you wouldn't be able to talk. You wouldn't be able to walk. You wouldn't be able to do any of that stuff. And there would be a delay, which is referred to as a postictal stage following the seizure. So it couldn't be picking up a micro seizure without very obvious reactions that are visible.
Wow. Thank you for that. Wow.
Sorry, sometimes I'm smart.
Well, obviously that's a field you know a lot about. So thank you for your input on that, because I I couldn't read these things, obviously, but man, that's good info. Thank you.
And I'll reemphasize that Art was cool as a cucumber, because I was in there. They said, well, if Art's going in there, Pete, you're going in there with a slam scanner. I was in there with him, and unless he's the coolest customer alive, he was not having a seizure, as I've been around that before.
That would be like Hannibal Lecter calm, right?
Exactly. Wow. Yeah.
There's that scary thought. Yeah. Oh, by the way, B Jones, thank you so much. Oh my goodness. That is so kind of you. I appreciate you very much. And B had said, Kitchen Sink indeed, another interesting show, just more mysteries. Yes, indeed. More mysteries. But yeah, so that's really cool. And now here's this, and he did bring in some of the coals because he works with those. And one of the things that they had said about his ceremony that he was going to be doing was instigating in the buildings. Now, I don't know I didn't hear him really doing a chant or anything like this. And I know he had asked the crew, and it was explained on the show last night. They made a comment about this very thing, but he asked them not to record some of his ceremony, and they did not. So that was good. That he needed to keep that amongst themselves as medicine men. So I respected that. But he said instigating in the buildings, and then also it was contact. He was trying to make contact. I would love, and again, this is why one of those times where I cannot wait to talk with Art here on the podcast and John Dover, because I want to know more. I really want to learn more about this, what he was doing. And, I know he can't probably explain everything as much as we'd like, but I can't wait to ask him about that, because I really think that's going to be instrumental for us to understand exactly what he was doing there. But he brought the coals in so he could read the coals again. And this is where you were talking about that, Jimm, where she actually went in with him. Now, they had to use a different headset at some point. The batteries died on this one. They were having some issue, and you heard Caleb say, what else can we do to try to keep this experiment going? And so she said, well, she did have a backup. She did get the backup unit out, put it back onto Art, the new one, and then sent him in. And this time she went with him inside Homestead 2 with her laptop so that she would stay in connection. And it worked. She was able to just reading what was going on there. So interesting that she did do that. I'm glad. Let's see. And then I guess this is the 1.6 gigahertz popping up and going crazy as all this was happening inside. And again, you're getting a response through the frequencies of 1.6 or whatever popping up. And this one's, again, going nuts. I mean, you see the variety. It's at 1.5998. Looks like the peak is right there. But look at this whole range right here. Again, this is one of those times where I don't completely understand what we're seeing here. Yes, I realize I was a radioman in the Navy, so I'm realizing that we're picking up a frequency and then maybe sideband from it or some bleed over to other frequencies or something happening here that is causing it to be so widespread. But again, I mean, do either any of you guys able to make any more sense of this than that? I mean, yeah, sideband. I called it sideband. Yeah, upper sideband. Yep. So I mean, it was just jumping all over the place. So again, another interesting piece of information there. Here it is, the 1.6 popping up on the spectrum analyzer that they were watching. It looks like we still have a bit of a 1.2 happening there as well. 1.6 on the money on this one right there. And almost right here on the money on this one right here. So again, reacting to what they're doing all the time. Never seems to fail. Now, here come the real freaky part about this. When she was following him around inside with this, this is when we get her, Maddie. I'm saying Maddie is just cannot believe what she is seeing. And part of me wanted to laugh, and part of me was kind of freaked out by this. But here's the screen without her hand. She's like exclamating over the fact that this should not be happening. That's the EEG she's getting from, and she's right there with Art. What does that tell us?
Seems abnormal.
Seems a bit abnormal. Yeah, I would think. Guys, anything? I mean, anybody got a clue? I mean, it's freaking out. It's either something's messing with his brain or something's messing with the unit.
I'd be willing to bet that if you put one of those contraptions on my head and took me out to a taco truck, you would see something very similar come out in the reading for that.
But that wouldn't be anomalous, now would it be, Jimm?
No, that's not anomalous.
No, it wouldn't.
That's expected.
But a good control.
My theory on this would be the we have to take the correlation into account that we have all of these devices registering interference and getting the 1.6. So it goes to say this piece of equipment also is likely being interfered by the same thing of interfering these. That's what I would imagine.
Yep.
So you're thinking that it's interfering with the equipment and not with Art's brain?
I would assume that. However, that's what do you do when you're assuming, obviously. There's no way that we can say it's not also his brain activity.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, as sensitive as those are, like Erik said, they're highly susceptible to EMI. And with all those other signals, like John said, it's probably external and not internal to him.
Well, like Pete said, he was as calm as a cucumber. I mean, if his brain was actually doing this, I think those signs would be visible on his face, in his body, in his reactions. Something would be showing
he'd be
up
looking like Joe Cocker. I mean, he'd be, doing all these movements and stuff. I mean,
But we also have had incidents in the past, like with Thomas having the mass that grew. We just don't know what level of neurological impact or radiological impact we could be seeing.
Yeah. And that's about the time that we actually got this. Okay, so Maddie and her equipment have been skinwalkered. So she is feeling the full effects of this. And then she was explaining a little bit about this afterwards. And look, I mean, she's still wiped out about this. I mean, have you had much of an opportunity to talk to her, Pete? I mean,
No. But somewhere out there, our friend Jan Franke is going, yeah.
Yes,
He's
he
like
is.
he's like, my meme is dead. We have a new meme.
Yes.
Sorry, Maddie, but you earned it.
Yeah.
She was a trooper.
Initiation successful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And we talked about that last week. I mean, we've mentioned it before too, about newcomers and their equipment to the ranch for the first time. And you always see Pete over there when they're introducing themselves and talking about, oh, my equipment is the best, and I do this and I do that. And of course, Pete asked the question. I love you asked this in the command center. Have you seen this happen anywhere else? Or something to that effect. That's not an actual quote from you, but that's pretty close to what you asked. And what was her answer, Pete? I mean,
no and no. She'd never
Yes.
seen it before, nor anywhere else.
right. Yeah.
Ranch 1, Maddie
Yep.
0.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. So they did.
I hope she comes back.
I know. Isn't
That's
that
the,
awesome?
that's the real test after
Yeah.
this kind of thing happens to you is, what are you going to do? You want to come back?
It depends on, if they are of the state of mind that you are, yes. Or of most of the team members that we've seen come back there, absolutely. I think there have been a few people that said they will never step foot on that ranch ever again.
Yep.
And
I bet she'd come back.
yeah, you think so? I think, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. At least just didn't break or crash.
Didn't fall out of the sky and smash into concrete.
The uncrashable drone. Yeah.
Yes, the uncrashable drone. I'd like to know where I can get one of those.
Always good to see you, Michelle.
She loves to, put salt in the wound once in a while,
Hi, Mom.
That's right.
Yep. So here we are in the command center going for the analysis on all of this craziness. There's the team around the table. And here's a look at Maddie and her analysis. And she was going through this, trying to give us a little bit of an idea of exactly what she was getting in readings. And I think this was when they were getting some of those signals, and he was going back and forth, in and out of the Homestead too. But you can clearly see in here that it was definitely being affected by something. The EMI very likely. All of this is just, and again, John Stratton, you probably have a better idea of what all this it means, but it's just one of those things that to me, it just looks like a mess. How would you make heads or tails of any of this?
On my end, when I look at an EEG, because I'm not an expert and I don't look at them often, the baseline is like the biggest thing. Getting a clean baseline where the person is stationary, you get a good clean reading. Then you compare to that. You do a same kind of comparison you do kind of like to EKGs, where you see about what the threshold is as far as how high and how low certain things will go and how frequent they are. So tight together and height. That's kind of what I look for to go abnormal versus normal. Like I said, I'm not an EEG expert. I know teeny tiny bit about them. EKGs, I'm technically considered an expert.
Oh, wow. All right. I would love to see something like this placed on, yes, we've seen it on Chris Bledsoe. Now we've seen it on Art Hardy out there. I would love to see this placed on other team members, like Mr.
Would it
Kelsey.
even be possible to get a baseline on Travis though?
Ooh, what would his baseline look like?
I don't think they make
Right?
one big enough.
I don't think they've got technology for a baseline on Travis, but
No.
Love you, Doc.
Somebody may or may not have had one on them at one point, and it never made it to air.
Oh,
I believe your mother mentioned that in the chat earlier.
Mm.
Gonna have to ask about that later.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
That's about all I know about it. They don't tell me anything.
Yeah. but yeah, I wonder what, or Pete or Erik for that matter, to see it on Erik and just, follow him around the ranch and just see what happens when he goes into particular places.
I want it on William.
I was just going to say that, John. I was just going to say that.
But we all know William is the Skinwalker. He's right.
Yeah.
He is the secret of Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah.
William is the secret.
I personally believe that they should have an EEG and a CT and an MRI as like a foundation before someone that's going to regularly be out on the ranch is out on the ranch. And then that way they have a baseline in case anything happens.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chris Bartell has spoken to that in the past.
Yeah. There's Michelle right there. Michelle Stratton. When Jay had the EEG done in Homestead 2, they couldn't get his brain to react differently from baseline no matter what happened, even when Bryant tried to scare him.
Michelle, did they try playing the Beatles?
Oh. Now that might have gotten a reaction, you think?
Now,
I guarantee it.
I have better ideas on how to scare him. However, they are not safe for the YouTube.
Have you ever seen anything bother Jay, though? He's the chillest dude.
He seems that way to me.
He is always even and level.
Yeah. He definitely seems that way. I mean, I don't know him well like you guys do. I got to meet him and talk to him a little bit at Phenomicon 2 years ago. That is his training. Maya said that's his, I'm sorry. Sue Wall said that's his training. So yeah, maybe so. I mean, trained to be open-minded and accept, everything that comes in and then evaluate it later, I guess. Wow. Yeah, William would be interesting to see on that. As part of all of this, and again, we could talk about this EEG all night. It just fascinates me. One of the other things that Erik shared in the command center during the analysis of everything was this right here. And this is just four. I grabbed these in sequence because he went through them, and I didn't grab a little video of this. I just kind of grabbed some pictures in sequence, starting with the upper left, then going to the upper right and down to the lower left. You see the changes in this is Erik's MetaFrame, thermal MetaFrame, looking at now he's up that camera. I believe that it was said that it's up on the mesa looking down at Homestead 2. And you can see the progression of things moving in the screen. Now, I can't wait to have Erik on the show. Hint, to help us to better understand what this MetaFrame and how it works. But we know that if you see like a bird fly by, or this line you see right here in the one in the lower right, this is and if I remember correctly, an airplane that flew by. And it just captures it as it moves, and you get to see its trajectory all the way across. And I want to put that back up if you would, Linda. We'll go ahead and address that question to Mike, Pete, Erik. On the MetaFrame capture, is the anomaly the two light vertical? Oh yes, I got a picture of that coming up here. Vertical streaks only, or also the larger illuminated area around that appears to form the flying saucer like shape. I'll show that here in just a second. Mike, Pete, or Erik want to chime in on that?
Do you have the zoom in of just that? Yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm. So MetaFrame will show if there was any kind of illumination, just like the streak you see going up above that. That's the blinking lights of an aircraft going by. So any blink, every time it blinks, MetaFrame catches that and saves it on screen. So that should have been brightness or light that was occurring, and it saved it.
And it grew.
Yeah, and it kind of grew. I think that dark horizontal line just below the two bright spots is actually the horizon, if I'm not mistaken. This happens to be one of the cameras, as is often the case, a little bit above that, Jeff.
Okay.
It's
Like right.
There's inside the light.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think that is actually the horizon. So the light's above the horizon at the very least. You could be right. It could be a little bit lower, but this is one of the cameras from the Insider program. So this is one we see pretty regularly.
So right through here.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, if you're have a little bit of time to spend on Google Earth Pro, you can position that camera roughly in the same position that this camera is in and kind of compare the two. So it does appear that that's not on the ground. And we know that there are obviously oil wells surrounding the property, and they often burn the gases that come out during that process. And those are flares, flames that burn in the night and can throw a lot of different light, and not just visible light. It throws off higher light too, as we've learned. So that wouldn't be something on the ground, especially as high as it is compared to that aircraft that went overhead. That was relatively low. And then you can see those spaced out dots. That's those posts that have lights on top of them that are the perimeter of the bubble.
Yep.
And so that's going through the south field, the field south of Homestead 2 quite a ways, actually, because that's about 1,000 feet out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what that is, and I'm not sure they did either. Maybe Pete knows. Pete probably knows.
All I can add is what we're looking at here is change detection.
Yes.
Something has changed, and MetaFrame can pick that up in, I'll call it RGB, or optical light, because obviously this is in the middle of the night, visible light. It's similar to, like in my gear, what I call ghosting. When something moves through the scan as the scanner is running, I can see that. I can pick that up. It's change detection. Something has changed. So what I love about MetaFrame, among other things, is that it's a change detection tool, but in visible light. So when you add that to this conversation, it's wow.
Yeah. And that is appearing. And again, it's so hard, as we all know, it's so hard to try to get a perspective of where this is. It looks obviously like it's in the air, but it looks like it's also above Homestead too. And John asked, could it be displaced from the ground level of two people standing in front of Homestead 2? Oh, displaced. So not
well,
where
it shouldn't be. Yeah, it shouldn't be.
Right.
But you never know. Is it
a lot of things
displaced kind of like,
shouldn't
yeah, right. Displaced like that section of trees on Pete's LiDAR.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Shouldn't be, but
Didn't Travis mention during the analysis that whatever that was, possibly a UAP, that it was several hundred feet in the air?
You did say a few hundred feet in the air, yeah.
Yeah, that's what that's the one thing that I remember from it.
Yeah. And look at this heat down here, around Homestead 2 happening. Now I know that they did have a fire, obviously burning at one point down there. That's going to put some heat up into the air for sure.
That should be light, not heat.
Ooh, actually, it's light. Yeah.
Light. I'm sorry. Yes, light. I'm sorry.
Light.
Yes.
Yeah. You can see that car coming up the road. Cast or crew.
Headlights. Yep.
Yeah, right here. Yeah. That's just nuts. I don't know. Again, I think that and I think that it was mentioned by B. Jones talking about the mystery. It just gives so many more mysteries to the whole thing. What is happening out here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did they? I think that they did in fact capture something awesome here. The problem is we just don't know what the heck it was. But I think there is, and then of course the picture I used for tonight's thumbnail, you have the heat or the light, the thermal showing up here from below, and now you have the light image showing up above.
Ooh, interesting. Right.
Yeah.
Thermodynamics. You can't have light without heat.
Correct.
As far as we know.
As far as we know. Yes. Good point. Oh, goodness.
Mike,
gracious.
I'm glad you pointed out where the horizon is there, because I did have that question. If the camera is up above, in the middle of the night when it's dark, do you know if you're looking at something in the air, or is it something more distant on the ground? That just someone turned on a yard light. There's two reflective things in their yard. And it's hard to say. But if that really is the horizon line, that tells you something.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it can't be a yard light in that case.
Right.
And I wondered the same thing. I'm like, where is the horizon here in this picture? And that's very interesting to show. Several hundred feet in the air, if it's that far. But again, you wonder, where did it actually, was it over Homestead 2? Was it much further back? Visible light, yes. Also near infrared.
Ooh, near infrared. I didn't know that.
And depending upon the settings in use, any atmospheric or ground light source will show up, as will reflections from other optical effects.
Yep. Yeah, the cameras at nighttime pick up near infrared. That's part of the learning curve when you're looking at night vision or night cameras, security cameras. Like I said, the flames from those from the wells when they're burning off gas, when you see that with the naked eye, the things that you see illuminate because of the flame are different in the camera, because what you don't see, the human eye doesn't see, is that near infrared light that's also being thrown off by that same flame. So the first time you see something like that, it's pretty extraordinary. But once you kind of calibrate to what you're being shown and why, you kind of understand that it's able to see more than we could see, and a lot of that work that was done in Homestead 2, the Prometheus cameras were using night vision. I think you saw at one point Caleb had to help Maddie through the threshold of Homestead 2 because there was a step and she was having a hard time seeing. That's because it was pitch black. Pete, you can probably speak to how dark it can get out there.
Well, and absolutely pitch black. But you can further evidence of IR cameras being used, or you can see the laser from my LiDAR.
Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. You see that, like those lines behind you as you're walking around. Yeah, I see that, and I keep thinking, oh, there's all those laser lights, flying around. That's amazing.
Looks like they got their own rave going out there.
Where's the thumping music, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh. Blazing Bear, get Blazing Bear back. I mean, this kind of thing, and that's why, folks, when I first, and I told you at the beginning that when I first watched this episode last night, I was thinking, okay, yeah, this was kind of cool. But it wasn't until I really started watching it a second and third time that I realized this was a cool episode. They really got some darn good data here on stuff. What does it all mean? Again, we still have to question, the EEG. And I know that Erik also mentioned, he said, as mentioned, I've had these EEG devices at the ranch for longer than there has been a documentary series. They're quite temperamental, but I agree. They have a lot to teach us. So, yeah, I'd like to, I'd love to see them used to get more data and on other people too. Like, William, I'm afraid what you would get, you put one on William, you might.
Yeah.
What I really want is a GoPro attached to William for a couple of days.
They've tried that though.
Oh, really? Yeah. I think I did hear that story.
It falls off when he goes through the portals.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Every time he goes through the portal. Yeah. Yeah. So I tell you what, before we get to the next time here, what do you guys think of what's your highlight? Anybody can jump in on this. What's your highlight up to this point in this season? From what we've seen in the first 5 episodes. Anyone want to jump in with that?
I think for me, it's the additional insights that we've gotten on the ceramics and the testing that Chris Roberts has done.
Yep.
I've really, really enjoyed that. And that was one of the cool things, if anybody gets to see that presentation that I did at the Hutchings Museum, is that during the Q&A, Chris comes up and Chris talks about a little bit more in depth about some of the testing for the ceramics. So I think that's kind of one of my high points is what we've seen thus far with how old the ceramics might be and how some of the results came back as undefined. It's just deepens that mystery even more.
I think for me, it's probably what we talked about before, the sort of call and response playback of just various electromagnetic signals. There's too many weird things to choose from, but that one, I don't know if it is. The show gives the impression that it's increasing. Because it started off with 1.6, just coming out of nowhere, but now it's responding with 1.2, responding with 33 megahertz, 40, or these other frequencies. So that's intriguing to me. I really am just dumbfounded by that.
Yeah.
I'll switch it up by mentioning the 550 cord getting snapped. That one was interesting to me.
Yes.
Totally forgot about that.
Because it takes a lot to have 550 cord get snapped, especially if it's descending, if it's moving, if it's loose. That takes a lot of force to cut 550 cord like that.
And there were no burn marks, no scoring.
Yep, exactly. And then having that UAP show up too. Or what appeared to be something like a UAP show up with the metadata. Again, looking at the MetaFrame, that they had and showed up right at that rocket launch. There was that a light showed up. Okay, I'll call it a light. We don't know what the heck it was for sure, but a light showed up on there. That was pretty interesting, and that was right about if they tried to find out if the timing was right about when that cord snapped on that one rocket, and I believe it was. I think too that when the Artemis testing lab did the and you mentioned this about the ceramics were undateable. These pieces being undateable.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the mystery of these things, the looking at them in the electron microscope and having the black holes or the dark areas growing on it and then they turned it off and it kind of went back to the way it was originally, but it didn't do that on known ceramics for a test base that they did. And but for them to be able to I was so excited. Okay, we're going to get to find out how old these things are, and they come back, it's undateable. What? It just makes no sense. Again, how many times do we say that about this particular show?
Yeah,
it makes no sense.
And part of that to me, the undateable factor. I know they were saying that it seemed like thousands of years old based off of the erosion. Well, based off of the reaction they had to the electron microscope, that kind of puts a little bit of a hole in the plot, so to speak, pun intended, of determining how old they are by erosion, because they're clearly not affected the same ways as other objects.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
And I've been told my whole life that I'm undateable, so I can relate.
Hey man, girls are scary.
We won't tell my wife I said that.
Well, my phone's being used for this, so I can't text her. Don't worry.
I've been thinking, obviously my perspective's a little different. I love the fact that if you're going to deal with this subject matter, you have to bring in credible expertise, right? So Jimm, you mentioned Chris. God, the first time I heard that an archaeologist is going to be involved, hallelujah.
Yep.
Same for Jan. So Jan's a PhD geophysicist. And what a great double whammy that is. He's a geologist, which has been the other elephant in the room since this whole thing began.
Yep.
But he's also a physicist. Ben, biologist.
Ben, yes.
Yeah.
Is he still a self-described devout skeptic is the question.
Love it.
Yep.
That should be a prerequisite, if you ask me.
Yep.
I don't want
that was the first thing he told me when I met him is that he's a devout skeptic, and I love it.
Yeah. You don't want the opposite, right? Oh, I know exactly what's going on here. It's the ghost of Jimmy Hoffa. And, what? So that to me has been huge. And the more episodes that go by, you're all getting to see that. It's one thing for a rube like me to show up, but Chris and Ben and Jan and Travis and Erik, and
Jimm
Maddie,
and Sam.
Sam and Jimm, right?
Jimm and
the
Sam,
list.
Yep.
You, if you're gonna play in this space, you have to take it that seriously. You have to. And I from looking at it strategically, if that wasn't there, I'm out. It's my favorite part, and just hang on.
Yeah, we are, because I tell you what, and I've said this a million times already, but when people come to me, because I do the same thing that you do, Jimm. I'm wearing my Skinwalker Ranch T-shirt, and I got a hoodie that says Skinwalker, and I wear it around a lot. And I get people that will ask me about it or say, or whatever, and comment. And they're all good, but I do get comments sometimes on the YouTube channel that people say, "Well, it's all full of crap," blah blah blah. They're just shooting rockets. What the hell? Right. And I say, well, then I tell them, I say, you are truly not watching this show, not really, because if you did, you'd be fascinated by the things that are happening here at this place. Because it's blowing my mind. Every time I watch a new episode, I get an education. And that's really what this podcast is all about. Learning. I want to learn, and I want to share it with as many people as possible. And every time we come out here, I learn new stuff, especially from my guests like you guys coming out here and telling me, and people like Pete and Erik and Jan and everybody that's come on the podcast is going to be, just I learn every single time. I learn something new. And I tell you what, I wish I felt this way when I was back in my 20s, because I wouldn't be as dumb as I am today if that were the case.
Well, it's like, what is that great quote that Erik always says? I want to get caught red-handed in the act of learning.
Yes.
And what a great quote. And it's the same way. Every time I watch your podcast, Jeff, Mike might as well be a PhD at the stuff that he knows, because he is able to really kind of explain things in a way just like Erik does, that can make somebody as stupid as me understand the basic concepts of it. And that's what I appreciate so much about both you and Mike, Jeff, and also you Pete and Erik, and really everybody that's on the team, is that they understand there's some really next level science stuff going on. And the chances are that most of us are just kind of just as mystified as they are sometimes, but they all do such a good job of explaining it in a way that is a lot easier to grasp than if you were to just try to research it on your own. And I know, because I've tried. Whoever's idea it was to combine numbers with letters, that right there, that's your satanic element of the world, because that's the devil's work right there, algebra and stuff like that. But no, also to your point about the people that are naysayers on the show, I had a situation just a couple weeks ago where somebody came up to me and hit me with that very thing. They're like, that show's all BS, right? That it's all fabricated, it's all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay, Give me an example of something you saw on the show. Well, and I said, well, do you watch the show? Well, no, I don't have to because I know it's, and I'm like, then how can you expect to make an educated comment, an intelligent comment,
right,
if you haven't even watched the show? And I say that to everybody. If you don't watch the show, you really aren't qualified to offer an opinion on something you yourself haven't even seen.
right.
So
Exactly.
that's just the gospel according to Jimm. Sorry.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
I love having.
Can I
these
get a
conversations.
witness? Can I get a witness from the congregation? Yes.
Amen.
I
Well,
just never
somebody
tell
says,
skeptics what my last name is because
Right.
clearly they won't get it anyways.
Right. Yes.
What was that,
It's
Pete?
like when I hear that, well, you know that show is nonsense. Actually, I don't know that.
Yeah.
How are you so sure that you do?
Yeah.
And it's another hat tip to everybody involved in this, including all of you. Is another key requisite of this is you have to have the humility for your narrative that you've been on for a long time to take a 90 or a 180 degree turn.
Yep.
You have to. And that's why, Jimm, I hate when somebody says that to me.
Yep.
And why my response is, no, actually, I don't know. It's all BS.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why I'm involved.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
My
What do
question
you
is
know
always
that I don't know?
right. How many episodes have you watched?
Yeah.
How much time have you
good
invested in it? A few
Yeah.
minutes?
Have you ever had somebody tell you that and they had no clue you were on the show?
Oh, is that Pete? Yeah.
that for Pete.
Yeah.
No clue that
they've
he's
all-
out there getting brown socks all the time.
That's a good question, John. Let me think about that.
Speaking of brown socks, I had Chat GPT make me a little picture of somebody with brown socks, and I actually had it in a little short video that I had done, not the one with the alien craft hitting the mesa. It was another little short video I had put in. It was only in there for about 2 seconds, that picture of somebody with brown socks, and no one has commented about it. So it went by too fast. And it's probably a good thing because my wife was like, "You're not really putting that in there, are you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's brown socks. Come on, I gotta put it in here."
It's part of the mythology now.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. If you're not fascinated, if you're not astonished and mystified by what is happening on Skinwalker Ranch, then there's a problem. And I hope, Erik, I hope I get this correct. It's another quote that you often say. Wait 1 second. It was about there for, we're there for about 1 second. But it's another quote from Erik, and it says, "We're not here to prove or disprove. We're here to observe."
To observe, yes.
Yep. I hope I said that correctly because that is so spot on. And
Well, they're
that's
not
what-
just doing research. They're doing what's referred to as basic research, knowledge for knowledge's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a line that Erik, correct me if I'm wrong, has actually been saying ever since season 1. In fact, one of the first real segments we got with Erik going back to season 1 was where he was talking about something just like that, where he's like, we're here to observe. This is a, observational science type just as much as it is anything else. And so yeah.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of wisdom out of Erik, but my favorite still to this day is pizza tastes best at 2 a.m.
Yeah, when he's I know some of these experiments, I know they wrap up pretty late, and we know that Erik was there for a long time. There it is. We're not here to believe, we're not here to disbelieve, here to observe. Thank you,
Observe.
Erik. I knew
It's
I was
brilliance
close.
right there.
Yes,
Yep.
I mean, absolutely. You're here to observe and record.
Erik is a t-shirt making machine.
Exactly.
You just put all
I
those
want
sayings
that.
on t-shirts and
I want
they'd
that
sell
on.
like hotcakes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. I want that on a t-shirt because that is so spot on. Well, I tell you, there, and we got next time coming up. Here, let me bring this up real quick. And it looks as though we are getting some good stuff next time. We got them drilling even closer, and they have hit something extremely hard. coming from the top down. I think I heard that mentioned that it was sounded that somebody said something like metal. I think we've hit metal. Wouldn't that be something, right? There's that, and there it is looking down. They must have made it down to that 33-foot level or somewhere thereabouts. We also have the guys from Sky Elements are out again to do another experiment next week. That's really cool.
True gluttons for punishment.
Yes, they are. Those guys truly are, right? And that's something Michelle had said something here. Oh, if it was all, here's what she said: if it was all BS, why would Pete continue potentially losing equipment and money out there if it was all BS? All right.
Right.
Exactly.
And reputation.
Yeah. That's got to be at least a big factor of the whole thing is reputation, right? I mean,
yeah, you can't put a price on it. Like, the hell with my gear.
Yeah.
Well, and that's something also that was, somebody had said is like, and I know I have commented about it as well, is you have these folks that come out there, take Sky Elements for instance. They come out there and those guys put on fabulous shows. And I've seen many of their videos online. They put on some fabulous shows. Do you think for 1 minute they're going to come out there, especially first time they were there, they're going to come out to the ranch and they're going to have their system, their show, they're going to have it fail? What kind of advertising is that there for them going beyond that? Oh, we don't want to have them out there. They're going to have drones falling on the sky out of all the spectators. It doesn't happen like that. So they're not going to plan for something. They're going to, let's fake it and have something fail so we can make, that was a big deal. Look at that. Wasn't that great? No, they're not going to harm their reputations and their equipment in that way. Come on. It just doesn't make good sense, right? I mean, this one here, this last picture, and I just got to put this back up. This is coming up for next week. And I think this was commented about being 100 and some feet off the ground.
750
feet off the ground.
Yeah, that's the blue line is the altitude.
Yeah.
The far left is altitude above sea level.
Yeah,
in meters, but it's in meters in the blue.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Way over here on the side. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. When they first showed that, you can see, and if you convert that, because Skinwalker Ranch is right about 5,000 feet above sea level.
Right.
So if you sort of use that scale, you have to convert it to feet instead of meters. But it is right about in that range, 750 feet.
So something is telling us that there's something happening. Electromagnetic interference at 750 feet. Was it something like that? I think they said.
Yeah, some kind of magnetic anomaly of some kind.
Yeah, at 700
shouldn't be happening up in the air like that.
No, what would be up there that we cannot see with our eyes up there causing that? Something like that. Isn't that crazy?
Yep.
Yeah. Again, well, we'll get more details on this next week. Now, remember, folks, too, and I thank you, Linda, for putting that up at the bottom of the screen a couple of times. We will not be doing a show next week. We're going to have to double up, Mike. Mike and I will be doubling up on the following week, providing that we get back from Nova Scotia. We're going up to Oak Island. We're leaving this weekend, and we're heading up to Oak Island. We're going to be up there for about 10 days doing the Oak Island second annual Oak Island conference, and that I will be emceeing for that. And the paranormal detective, he does that.
Greg Lawson.
Yes, Greg Lawson does it for Phenomenon, and I have the honor of doing it for the Oak Island conference coming up next week, and that's going to be a lot of fun. And so I'll be getting back just about the Tuesday or Wednesday of the following week, and we have to double up the next two episodes. It'll be 6 and 7 for when we get back, and I think that's on the 1st. I think it's on July 1st. So that's the plan. If all goes well, that's the plan to see Mike and I again, and we'll be doubling up episodes. And then don't forget. Oh, thank you, Michelle. Yeah, I know. I'm really excited. Second annual. And I know some of the folks in the chat here that follow us on the Oak Island Curse of Oak Island stuff are going to be there as well. So really really happy to see that. It was it'll be a lot of fun for everybody there. And then don't forget, we have Caleb Bench is going to be joining us the following week from that on the 8th, and he's going to be joining us to talk about go through the episode with us. And of course, Pete, you're welcome to come back. Jan's welcome to come back. Erik, I know I should have sent you a link. I apologize, sir, that I didn't send you a link to come on with us, but you are always, all of you guys, and you guys too, are always welcome to join us here on the podcast, because I love your input. I love your thoughts and your expertise that you add to all of this as well. So,
well, we love you too, Jeff. You're awesome. You're like a brother to us. Honestly.
Yeah, that's how I feel with you guys. I really do. And John
you too,
Neiberger,
you too, Mike, and you too, Pete.
Honestly, I've never met Mike. Can you believe that Mike and I've been doing this for a couple of years now, and
I've met Mike.
I've met everybody here but Jeff.
That is kind of weird.
It is kind of weird. I know, right?
Yeah.
Oh man!
Can you believe he's 7 foot tall too? Good Lord!
Wow,
Right?
really? Wow, that's amazing. 7 foot, and he doesn't even play basketball.
I know. Or I'm just that short. But no, other than accusing me of being an expert, I really always enjoy coming on and talking to you guys.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, and don't forget, folks, that check out Mike and check out Jimm and John on the Soul of the Unexplained podcast. They've been talking a lot about disclosure lately and all the stuff that's coming out of the government dumps. There's been 3 now, correct? 3 on that. And
Yep.
Yeah. And Jimm, if you would let everybody know where to see your presentation once again.
Sure. So if you want to see my UAP Disclosure 101 presentation that I did with Ben Woodruff and Chris Roberts, just go to the Hutchings Museum Institute YouTube channel, and you should see the big graphic there with me sporting the cowboy hat, I think, and pointing up to a UAP, Ben and I. But that's on there. And as far as our podcast goes, we do have to apologize. It's been actually quite a while since we've recorded an episode, just because of how busy everybody's been. I spent several weeks just getting ready for the presentation, and then John's had stuff going on. Johnny's had some stuff keeping him busy, and of course Roger is still struggling with some pretty serious health issues. But we are going to record something soon, because like you, Jeff, I'm going to be gone for 3 weeks coming up right about the time that you're coming back. So
Okay.
So we're hopefully we can coordinate schedules between me and John and Johnny to record something just in the next little bit here. But no, we sure appreciate everything that you do with your podcast, Jeff, and you have one of the absolute best live chat communities every time you do an episode. And just a big shout out to everybody in the chat, even though I can't see you right now. But what a great group of people and inquisitive minds. Never be afraid of asking those questions.
Yep.
And just again, a big shout out to everybody at the ranch, especially to Pete. Great to see you here, Pete. And shout out once again to Heather and to Michelle and to Debbie, the wonderful moderators there at Skinwalker Ranch Insider. We love and appreciate you guys and everything that you do to keep the community as vibrant and safe as possible. So I'm just grateful to be along for the ride.
Yep.
Really, truly.
Yep. I'm going to be doing my best to try to bring you guys some more content out there. I'm going to be trying.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe who knows? We can get maybe we can get a hitchhiker to do a music experiment out at the ranch. That would be fun.
That's what I want, a concert on the helipad, man.
Yes.
Right? That's gotta happen. And Pete, you're invited.
Awesome. That would be awesome. Yeah, I got to see that.
I'll make the barbecue.
Yes, I want to taste that. So I tell you what, we got to wrap this up, but we were kind of referring a little bit to the and all the Smurf Michelle and all the Smurf names you see in here are the fantastic people that Jimm mentioned earlier, and Mike of the Skinwalker Ranch Insiders group. Right there. Yeah, I can video record it. Yeah, the hitchhiker playing live. Those are the people that help keep the Skinwalker Ranch Insiders going. It is a fantastic program. And Barbecued Skinwalker. I'm not even. Oh, I don't even want to think about that.
I think I can make a special marinade just for that.
Yeah, and that's what you're going to call it. That'd be great.
Tastes like chicken.
What would that? Ooh, I don't know what that would taste like, but yeah. Anyway, the Skinwalker Ranch Insiders. It's a great program. It does cost money, but it gives you 24/7 access to the ranch. You get to watch the cameras and the MetaFrame data that's going by and all the stuff and you get to chat with the gang. And then tomorrow night they're going to be having their Q&A. It's kind of a Q&A where they kind of recap the episode a little bit for all the insiders. It is great stuff. If you're interested, go out to skinwalker-ranch.com. Check that out. I've been a member since almost the very beginning. I missed the first month or so of it, and it has been worth every penny. It is really, really, really a great program, and I love every minute of it. You even get to hear from Professor Bard teaching you stuff from time to time. So, all right.
If you're not in there, you're missing out, folks.
I'm telling you, you are. Yeah, absolutely. I had a lot of insiders in here tonight. I tell you, all the ones that you saw, Smurf, this and that, and Heather and Debbie G and Michelle and all them, they do a fantastic job of keeping everybody in line and keeping this thing flowing. And even, Mike, as well, doing things to keep this all happening. So the work that they put in, they must get paid millions, right? Yeah. Anyway. All right. Well, thank you guys again for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. And Pete, thanks for popping in here. I wish I would have got a thing out to Erik in time so he could have popped in with us. And folks, we thank each and every one of you for being here with us tonight. If you like the content of the show we did here for you tonight, please consider giving us a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And with all of that, we'll catch you next time right here at the J Free 906 podcast. Good night, everybody.
See ya.